good morning. Welcome to Exiles Television.
Hello.
And it's starting to get a little warm all over South Louisiana.
Muggy is the word I would use.
Yeah.
Muggy.
The humidity has been kind of climbing up.
Yes, welcome. Humidity Fest 2020 is up and running and will go away sometime in mid-November.
Was it you that said by the time we can all go out and about again, it'll be so hot we're going to want to stay in anyway?
Yeah, I can't take credit. It was somebody sharing a meme on Facebook, but it's like, yeah, by the time they finally let us go wherever we want to, it's going to be in the 90s with 90% relative humidity, and we're just all going to want to go indoors. So there it is. But welcome. This is day 40-something now.
I've lost count.
I have lost track of the days, but America still held hostage, waiting. When, oh, when can we get a haircut?
Yeah, I woke up yesterday thinking it was still Sunday. It was like an extended Sunday.
Well, it kind of is.
It's like, oh my God.
But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about COVID-19 and the results.
Cinco de Mayo.
Today is Cinco de Mayo, and that coincides with Taco Tuesday. So, guess where I'm going on the way home today?
Taco?
I'm going to pick up some tacos.
Are you going to do like Taco Bell or?
Oh, no. We got a number of there's actually a great little Mexican restaurant right down the street. There's actually two or three, but there's one right down Coursey Boulevard from where we are right now. And they serve up a good plate of tacos. So,
well, speaking of Mexican restaurants, have you been out doing you can order it to go, but if there's a table on our patio, you can sit at the table thing?
I have not dined on anybody's patio table yet. It's all been pretty much just take it and go.
Well, we have actually bailed ourselves twice. On Saturday, which was the first day, we went to one of our favorite restaurants. I know you like it too, Bin 77 in Perkins Row.
Bin 77.
And as it happened, they've got a huge outside covered patio, and they had everything spaced out perfectly. And there was a table available, and it was lovely to just sit at a table. And I looked at Karen and I said, kind of like being out here, sitting at the table and not having, "Hi, I'm Seth. I'm going to be your server. Can I get you anything?" I kind of like it.
There are times when
I'm Bill. I'm your customer. Can you leave me alone?
Yeah, there are times when I want attention from the wait person, and there are times when I just want them to go away.
Yeah. So that was nice. It was great food. They make the best burger in town.
I keep having this question, if you and me and three of our friends all take our wives, go to Bin, order takeout, then go out there and sit together in their patio, is the sheriff's office going to come run us off?
It's okay as long as there's 10 or less.
Oh, 10 or less.
10 or less.
So if we had one more friend and wife, then we're in trouble, and they'll come and they'll club us over the head and take us to jail.
That's right. And the thing is, kicking and screaming. Now, yesterday for lunch, we went and did Superior Grill on Highland. Figured we'd beat the Cinco de Mayo craze of today and get our south of the border dinner early. And we got there, and they have a nice patio. Not as big as Bin, but we got there just as the sun was coming up, and we were not under an umbrella.
Oh.
It was a little warm. Food was great, though. And again, I know wait staff are trying to just do their job, but a couple of these, neither of these two, they have wait staff that look like you want to adopt them. They will not go away. And no one is ever going to convince me they don't do that. Wait till he's got a mouthful of food and then come up and talk to him.
Oh, they do that. Of course they do that.
Yeah.
It happens far too often. I think that's an unwritten rule of waiting tables. It's like, wait till they're in mid-chew to walk up and say, "How is that?"
Or wait. Here's a new variation. A new variation is wait until one of the two people has leaned in to tell the other one something and walk right in the middle of it.
Yep. Or an intimate moment. Let's say you got two people enjoying a romantic dinner, an anniversary dinner, a date,
an affair.
And the two draw close for a few quiet, intimate words and maybe a smooch or two, and then, "How is everything?"
Everything. I have started doing this. Karen hates it. I have started doing this. I've added it to my repertoire for waiters that are just too obsequious. Mm-hmm. I hate to interrupt, and I will immediately look up, but yet you have.
Though, joking aside, because we are just kind of musing on this and joking,
Yeah.
I really do miss being able to go to a restaurant and sit down and be waited upon. And have somebody bring me my food, somebody care if I've got everything I need, instead of, you find out you need, something, you need utensils, you got to go back in, could I get some utensils, please?
Yeah, I needed more. I needed more napkins at Bin because that burger they've got is so juicy, mm-hmm. And it was no problem. They were like, yeah, we figured, but I wish they would. I wish this little vacation would change the waiter pattern. Hi, I'm Craig, and I'll be your waiter. Say, oh, I thought you were going to fix my plumbing. Do you have any questions? Yes. What's the escape velocity for a rocket to get to Mars?
Don't know that one.
Yeah. Well, you said any questions.
All right, time for our first break of our first hour. We appreciate you being with us. We got lots more good stuff to come today on Exiles TV. Stay right there, please.
Taste the feeling.
Hey now, give it your best, put the broken lies to rest. Look up to the skies, I see desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every one.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
And we're back. This is Exiles TV on Pelican Broadcasting. Glad to have you with us. A couple quick notes. One, download the Pelican Sports TV app. You can find that in your app store, whichever you use, whether it's Apple or whether you use Android. And you can watch these programs in real time on the app. So no matter where you are, you've got your viewing going on. You can also check out these programs archived on YouTube.com.
Now, I've been wondering with this partial reopening and the conditions and all that, and I don't mean to kick a hornet's nest here,
Oh, yes, you do.
but I would like to know. I would really like to know about this. And what I would like to know is our former client, entrepreneur here in Baton Rouge who owns Roosters men's hairstyling
Chris
salons.
Nelson.
Yeah. Made an announcement last week that he was opening before May 1st. Has anybody heard of any
that he's been contacted by law enforcement who said they were acting on behalf of the governor's office and the AG and the mayor, and telling him, don't you do it. Also, he's having trouble getting people to come to work because they're A, either too scared to come to work, or B, they're collecting more money on weekly unemployment than they can make working cutting hair.
And that's a whole other issue. But see, here's the deal. The guy who opened the health club on Jones Creek Road.
You talk about Callaway's.
Callaway's.
Yeah.
Anybody seen any enforcement?
I haven't heard of any enforcement.
All right, let's stop there for a second. How about where the city of Lafayette says we don't care about the general order, we're going to just reopen everything? Anybody seen any enforcement?
I haven't heard of any enforcement, no.
Pastor
How about
Spell
West Feliciana
West
Parish
Lee,
in general?
Yeah. West Flea, they've opened up. What about Pastor Spell? Is he still walking around?
Yes.
All right. How about the restaurants that are, in fact, opening for patio service? You know, they sent out all these real regulations and all that. Anybody checking?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, so
Are you all social distancing?
here is my theory on all this. At the very, very beginning, the quote was, and we heard it from several people, well, we're not going to arrest our way out of this. So they've also kicked the can down the road for enforcement. See, like for our buddy over at Roosters, enforcement's supposed to be the state licensing board for barbers and cosmetologists. They're supposed to go in
And threaten to yank your license?
and take it away and shut you down. But they're not. So if you've got a restaurant and you got a patio and you don't have two exits and your tables aren't exactly 10 feet apart, our buddy Butch Browning, the state fire marshal, handles the enforcement for that.
Right.
Can he possibly do all that?
No, he can't possibly. He doesn't have the staff to do that.
And who is monitoring to make sure that they are using disinfectant on the tables between customers?
Well, that would be the Department of Health.
Yeah, are they doing it?
Pretty sure they're not.
And let's see, the Rev, he's been cited now, what is it, 7 times? And he's supposed to have his bond revoked because he violated the terms of his house arrest. Is he still out and about?
Pretty sure he is.
Pretty sure he is.
Here's another one I want to add to the lump. The legislature went back to work yesterday. Well, some of them, because some of them, and I'm not sure as I blame them. Our friend, State Representative Ted James, said, I'm not going back to work. I'm just getting over coronavirus. Now, we're told that once you've had it, you can't get it again.
But nobody's 100% sure.
Nobody's 100% sure. Should Ted take that chance and go do what's expected of him? Or should he give up the few days per diem he's going to miss?
Well, he also, you know what he also said? It made a lot of sense. The crap they're debating right now is not essential.
I liked his quote. He said, we're not essential.
Till
We
we get a
debate
budget.
license plates and marijuana.
Yeah.
Until the budget debate comes down to a full chamber vote in either chamber, they're not essential. And really, I don't know if we should expect the legislature to do anything but the budget this year and leave everything, the budget, capital outlay, leave the rest alone.
Now, there have been governors that have sent state police officers in marked vehicles to snatch up state legislators and bring them to the Capitol. And they have that right, by the way. Any of that happening?
Not seeing it.
Not seeing
And
it.
by the way, I just wanted to share one more thing about the legislature. Saw some lengthy video, B-roll video of them doing their job on Monday. How many were wearing masks? Well, most of them. How many were wearing masks with their nose hanging out of the mask?
I love that.
I know why they do it. It's hard to breathe in that damn thing.
Well, it gets a little warm.
Gets warm, gets uncomfortable, and if you're a nose breather, like, some people are, you don't want the mask over your nose.
But most of the people in the legislature are mouth breathers.
Look, so much of what we're doing about this COVID-19 thing is just BS.
But the point I was trying to make is that if you're not going to enforce, please stop sending out rules. Stop having press conferences. if you want to just kick the can, do we all look that stupid? I mean, I know some of us look stupid.
Well, that's the problem, is the majority of us are that stupid.
I'm not that stupid.
Well, you're not the majority, though, are you?
That's true.
The vast majority
I feel
of
better
us,
about myself already.
the vast majority of us are a bunch of dumb, panicky sheep that will do whatever we're told, and then we'll shame our friends who want to go back to work because you want people to die.
Well, again, you know, it's like, ever since they started this stuff, I have seen violations and potential violations. I'm not going to call anybody, but it's like, what was it they said in Stripes? Cut the crap, Francis. Cut the crap. We don't need it. Nobody believes it. A brief break. Don't go to the bathroom. It's brief. Back in a moment on the Exiles.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us. Coming up in our next segment, Abigail Hamilton, who is involved in the restaurant business from a consulting standpoint, and she also is a planner. She will tell us about what's happening with restaurants that have now reopened for table,
outdoor
patio
dining.
Table, yeah, and also the economics of it, whether or not this model is going to work for the restaurants. because I think they're bumping their overhead and not getting that much more business. But she can talk about where the wins and losses are. And also, we're going to get Leo Honeycutt in. He's been watching the legislature. They came back, most of them, for the first day. And he's going to tell us what he saw and what he heard, and whether or not they're going to pull the plug and get on out of there sometime before the budget comes, and then come back for the budget. I think we could make book on some of that, don't you?
I don't know. Isn't the revenue estimating committee meeting like May 15th?
Yeah.
And see, until that meeting, there's no clear picture of what they need to do in order to create a balanced budget.
And they've been leaking that they don't know what they've got to work with.
Well, of course they don't know what they've got to work with. Every revenue stream is dried up.
It's going to be lick your finger, put it in the air, and see what you think's going to happen.
Well, and
but
listen,
they're never right anyway.
I was just going to say, this is somewhat disrespectful, but I can't remember the last time the legislative, the budget people, the money crunchers over at the legislature were on target. They're always short, or they find out that they've got a surplus they didn't know about. They're always wrong.
8 years of Jindal budgets, and it was always the same range. It was between 300 and 500 million that there was going to be a deficit, according to the REC.
Same thing with.
And then after the budget got passed, all of a sudden they would miraculously find 300 million somewhere.
Some money.
It was always the same number.
Mm-hmm. It didn't surprise me that we wound up with a surplus after all the taxation that took place last year in the legislature and the year before that. But this year now we're hit. The oil patch, there's no money coming in from oil, none whatsoever. There's no money coming in from, very little money coming in from state income tax revenue. I mean, all the revenue streams have dried up.
I have already got my speech prepared for when they ask for additional taxes on the middle class so that they can put more money into the Department of Hospitals. I have my speech already prepared.
Don't get me started. I think that's the one area. DH is the single largest chunk of the annual budget pie, and I believe it's right now somewhere in the neighborhood of $11 billion every year.
27.4% of our entire budget.
Right. It's the largest single chunk of the state budget. Yes, a lot of it's federal pass-through dollars, but don't forget, those federal tax dollars are paid by who? You and me. Sure, it's a shared burden with the rest of America, but they've got to do something to shrink that Department of Health budget. And it grew exponentially when we did what? Expanded Medicaid.
Well, here is the whole thing. And this is part of my speech when they ask for it. We are now going to spend millions of dollars, and Louisiana is not the only state doing it. Every state is doing it, going to spend millions of dollars to see why the COVID mortality rate, as they put it, affects or impacts black and brown communities. That's the term they're using.
Disproportionately.
Well, and the thing is, it really doesn't, but they're talking about health care, access to, in very, very broad terms. And what does that mean? Does that mean if you are a member of a minority group in the city of New Orleans and you think you're ill, that the doctors say, no, we won't see you? Because that's not true. Does it mean you can't get a ride? Well, we have medical transportation that we're all paying for under DH.
Medicaid pays for it a lot of times.
Now, they can't do anything if the doctor says you need to be on blood pressure medication, and you take it and you say it makes me feel funny, so you stop taking it and you're therefore non-compliant and you're contributing to your own problem. There's not much we can do about that. But the fact of the matter is that there is enough money in the system now, maybe twice as much as is needed, to allow anybody to have access. And in fact, in this state, a lot of people who are on Medicaid have access to more health care than people who have private insurance. And if you don't mind...
That is the truth, Bill.
If you don't mind, I'm going to use you as an example.
Mm-hmm.
When you and I were working on the radio together and you were having gastrointestinal problems,
mm-hmm.
and you went to your doctor, and you had insurance that you and your wife pay for every month.
Yep.
And the doctor said you need an upper and a lower. And the lower was covered by insurance.
Yep.
And the upper wasn't. And
they want to run a gastroscope up each end.
Yeah, and it broke my heart for you to say, well, I'm just not going to take the test because they want $2,300 cash when I show up.
Didn't have $2,300 laying around. Why? Because my copay, my annual copay, had to be met.
But the point...
So it was basically the entire upper gastroscope was going to come completely out of my pocket.
And the point of it is that if you were on Medicaid...
I wouldn't pay a dime.
And you would have gotten the test. And this is where we have got a tremendous imbalance in our society. You know, in the state of Louisiana, if you look at the source of money for our budgets as a great big backyard, okay? And you got an oil well that's pumping. That's the middle class, all right? And you got a septic tank. It doesn't generate you any revenue, but you need to keep it up because you want to keep it clean. You don't want bad things to happen.
Right.
But if they both break on the same day, which is the one you need to take care of first?
The one that generates revenue.
Bingo! Our government doesn't seem to know how to protect their cash flow, and it's starting to piss people off a great deal.
Well, this whole idea, and it angered me when the governor, made the announcement that I'm creating a health equity task force to find out why there's a we all know why there's a disproportionate amount of some people getting sick and dying from this thing. We all know why. We understand why. This is a state that bends over backwards to provide health care to people, but they've got to be willing to take it. As Bill said earlier, noncompliance. Doctor puts you on meds, you don't take them. Doctor tells you to come back for a follow-up visit, you don't come. You're not going to get the health care unless somebody comes to your house, picks you up, takes you. It's like we bend over backwards to provide it, but we do expect the individual to meet us at least halfway, and some individuals won't.
Well, and by the way, when there are pictures available of Caucasian deaths from COVID, have you noticed that they're all pretty much in the comorbidity range too? They're very overweight. They have diabetes. They have COPD. Mm-hmm. They have high blood pressure. So nobody's discriminating against anybody when it comes to the comorbidity factors for this disease.
No. And I guarantee you someone watching this probably just thought at my last comment, wow, that's really racist. It's not racist. I don't have any problem with anybody because of the color of their skin, but certain things are just realities. I've covered a lot of health topics in my time before COVID-19. I knew that black people, particularly black males, lead whites in things like heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and any number of things. They lead. And why is it? Who knows why it is? Maybe they just don't eat right, they don't take care of themselves, or whatever. But these things were already known. And it seems to me creating a task force to look into an inequity in health care, when we're also at a point where how many of these people that we're seeing dead, what's today? 1991 dead, 1991 dead in Louisiana. Now shade is being thrown on how many of those were actually COVID-19 deaths, how many were presumptive deaths, how many, we don't have accurate figures. The state of Pennsylvania took over 600 people off the COVID-19 deaths list because they revised it down and said, no, this guy died of heart disease.
Yeah, and they had to look after death to correct it. But let's just say they all are.
Well, what I'm saying is we don't have good data, so what do we have a task force for?
But even if we did, is there anything that is unexpected? Because in the state of Louisiana, when we talk about health care, for the last 15 years, we've been talking about the higher incidence of hypertension among black males, the higher incidence of kidney disease caused by hypertension in black males, the higher rate of obesity in black males and females, the higher rate of COPD in black males and females, the lower rate of smoking cessation in black, and we've talked about these in a meaningful way, trying to help in that community with programs and outreach and health care. But it does exist. If you point it out, it's not racist. It's no more racist than pointing out that white people in the state of Mississippi are the most obese people on the planet. statistically. You know, so if you have to do a shut up and get back in the truck type of thing, please don't annoy me with it, because I'm not going to buy it.
I just think that it's way premature to talk about this kind of nonsense, much less appoint a task force, Governor Edwards. Let's get on the backside.
Every state in the union except for maybe Montana, Wyoming, Vermont, New Hampshire.
Well, that's because it's part of the national narrative. Everything is racist. Everything is racist. Race plays a part in everything, and if it doesn't, we'll find a way to make it play a part.
But I mean, I don't understand where the logic is in what people who are leading this particular charge hope to gain. Because all you're going to reveal is more foolishness, starting with you, with beating the table and banging the drum. Because am I the only one who thought this was foreseeable? That if you have any kind of a disease that affects your circulatory and respiratory system, these folks are in the bullseye. And always have been.
Quick break. We're going to talk about restaurants. They're slowly coming back. What's the condition? What's ahead for them? That's on the way on Exiles TV.
That's right, the Clarence Buggs Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down.
Taste the feeling.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Up to
Hey, Exiles TV is back. I'm Kevin Gallagher. He's Bill Profita. He's the well-dressed one. I'm the one who dresses like a bum.
I wouldn't say that.
One of the
You're
things
casual.
that Bill and I both dearly miss amidst all this shutdown is fine restaurant dining. And it's starting to come back in small ways. The governor has released it so that if the restaurant has outdoor dining, you can call in, you can take your takeout food and eat it on their tables outside. One of the restaurants, very popular place in St. Francisville, the Francis, just did their first weekend of that kind of dining. And our guest is Abigail Hamilton. She consults with restaurants, and she was there most of the weekend.
Oh, yes. It was so busy, and we were so grateful to have, you know, our local support and people just driving up and down 61, stopping by. It was a beautiful weekend. So, and we have plenty of outdoor seating. So it was a perfect weekend.
If you had to guess how much, I mean, how many can you seat outdoors there?
Oh, gosh. Well, without the 25%, I mean, we probably seat about 100.
Wow.
Now, the state fire marshal promulgated the rules for this, and it's at 25% of capacity. But which capacity? The patio's capacity or the whole restaurant's capacity?
I believe it's supposed to be the outdoor capacity, which when you start separating the tables corner to corner by 10 feet, that's pretty much what you have. And then you take away, see, we have an outdoor bar that is surrounds an oak tree on our large patio. So we had to remove the bar stools, okay, because that's a lot of seating.
Right.
So yeah, and then on the front patio, we just have to spread the tables out a little bit more. We have a couple of tables that we pulled together because the max is 10 people per table, which I found kind of interesting. But, you know, we've been working, we've had groups of 6, 8, and 10. And we have smaller decks that we can put larger tables, you know, that seat 10 people.
What I worry about is what we all talked about when Stephen Hightower was here. Before this, when it was a speculation that this was going to happen, is that it doesn't actually make the cash picture for restaurants that much rosier. Because with to-go only, curbside, you can operate on a very, very small overhead, where with this, your overhead amps up, but you're still only at 25% of your potential business.
Correct. And then that comes down to basic outdoor table turnover. You know, we stayed, you know, pretty steady Friday through Sunday. We set a line outside, and we don't take reservations, but we were just like, as soon as a table came up, it was cleaned, disinfected, and then we sat the next table. I mean, that's how and it was like nonstop.
Did you have to encourage anybody to, hey, meals, your food's gone, you know, we need the table?
We don't do that.
Sayonara.
Right. No, we didn't do that.
Well, I mean, you know, gently, politely, but.
Right. Yeah, can I get you anything else? Would you like some dessert? Can I bring you, you know, whatever. But yeah, so, but it ran pretty smoothly, I have to say. Most people, you know, could see that there was a line, and they were very gracious about, you know, just coming in, eating, and leaving.
Now, I know you're involved and have been for many years with the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society, which is most of our fine dining restaurants. Some restaurants have been doing well. We saw you and your husband at Bin 77 on Saturday. Karen and I went there, and I talked about that at the beginning of the show. And I saw them being meticulous about disinfecting, and the spacing was very good. We went to another restaurant I'm not going to name, but it's very popular. And we watched as tables were turned in their outdoor area, and nobody from the staff touched those tables with even a wipe down. So, who is policing this, if anyone?
Right. I'm not sure. I know that at our restaurant that we, you know, it's a new norm, right, for us too. And actually, it takes time because you have to clean it and then you disinfect.
Right.
Okay, it's like a two-step process. So it takes a little bit more time.
So you got to bust the table,
right,
and then completely wipe it down, and the chairs.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes, and then disinfect. Now I think some solutions have both, but you know that's technically how you're supposed to do it.
Wow.
So and it's a time-consuming process, and which means more staff.
Well, what do you hear from or about other restaurants in the general area? Is this working in Lafayette, for example, or in New Orleans, or around Baton Rouge? What kind of feedback are y'all hearing?
I'm not hearing a whole lot from New Orleans. In Baton Rouge, I am very impressed with the creativity that a lot of restaurants are using. I know DiGiulio's cut off part of their parking lot and put some tape up and spread their tables out in addition to their regular outdoor.
Well, they've got an almost cult following.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And Mansour's had a tent out in there. They had tables out. So I really feel like that people are being creative and they're trying to make this work, and the public is very grateful.
I think I saw them erecting a large tent right down the street at the Chimes.
Yes.
Chimes East, so that they could put tables out, more tables outside, because they've got a patio at Chimes East, but it only seats maybe about 40 people.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't know the Chimes on Highland had a rooftop dining area. That's cool.
And Bumpsters as well.
But can these restaurants, if for some reason the governor decides that he needs to extend these restricted dining rules into June, July, is that going to be untenable for these restaurants?
It will be stressful, and I would predict that some of the smaller restaurants, or larger ones that have a lot of overhead, may close. I mean, it would be a terrible thing. I don't know if it would be a chain restaurant, right? And I don't really see a lot of them open yet. But I'm hoping that the local restaurants can hang on.
Well, when this all came down, and when everybody, including us, was saying, support your local restaurants as best you can by ordering takeout, help them out because this is tough. There are people like, well, I mean, they can't, close down for a few weeks and be okay. Well, no, they don't. They don't buy, inventory for, 3 or 4 months. They buy it for a week or two at a time.
Right.
Their overhead.
It's just like your home kitchen. The groceries only last so long.
Well, and
Exactly.
their overhead is fixed. That landlord wants his rent
Exactly.
every month, no matter what. And you got to pay your staff. And so they're laying off people, and now it's getting hard to get them back because of the very generous unemployment payments.
Correct. Yeah. So we have a list of employees that are a little nervous to come back. We cannot require any medical proof that either they have COVID or that they're taking care of somebody with COVID. They will we just wait, and there's really nothing we can do. In the meantime, everybody else is stepping up. We've had to rehire some old employees, that will come in and help out. And I think people just want to work. These people want to work. They're just tired. I mean, after a while, it's time to get back to
sitting
work.
around the house. It gets really, really dull.
Now, the people that are working for patio dining, is it required that the management take their temperature as they report to work? Or is that something some are just doing because they think it adds an extra measure of safety?
I think they're doing it to add an extra measure of safety. Now, we ordered a temperature. I mean, they're saying, May 15th to June 1st. So it's even difficult to order, a good one, a touchless thermometer.
Infrared,
yes.
So what they're basically doing is saying, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic or say that anybody's right or wrong.
Right.
But they're saying, this is a safe way for you to dine out, but we're actually taking less safety precaution than if you came to watch the legislature. Or if you're coming to a press conference. You got to get screened now twice to go to a press conference if you're a member of the media.
Why? Why twice?
They want to make sure. You have to answer a bunch of questions, you have to take your temperature, and
Looks like I got out of the news reporting business just in time.
But seriously, so you've got these people that are handling your food, and they're not able to take their temperature, and God knows, nobody would lie if you say, have you had a fever in the last few days, you got a cough, you've been around anyone? Oh, hell no! There's nobody within 300 miles of me that's got COVID. Which which I'm sorry. I'm glad the restaurants can make some revenue, and I'm glad we can go out to them. But a lot of this is just flat bull. It really is.
Well, it's definitely a new norm, and everyone, especially in the restaurant business, is trying to figure out what's the best process. I mean, we ask our employees, have you been sick? Do you feel sick? But if they're not truthful with us, we have no way of knowing that.
Well, somebody that's got to make their car note in 5 or 6 days that may be feeling a little punkish and figures they're going to pick up about $80 or $90 in tips, they're not feeling so sick anymore when they answer your question, are they?
Right.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, where will restaurant service be, say, 60 days from now? We hope it's all back to normal. Exiles TV returns in a moment.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down.
Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Clarence Bug Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bug Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Welcome back to Exiles TV on this Tuesday morning. Going to be a hot one over most of South Louisiana. They said we might tick 90 in the Baton Rouge area. In Acadiana, about 88. In New Orleans, probably around 86.
Nothing we haven't seen before.
Nothing we haven't seen before.
Think about it. This would have been the second weekend of Jazz Fest just passed.
Yeah, it would have been the end of Jazz Fest.
Yeah, how many times do you remember going to Jazz Festival where it was, by that second weekend, it was just swelteringly miserable hot?
I never remember going to Jazz Fest where it wasn't miserably hot. It's like, wow. And I know they've changed it, but when I was a younger person, I used to like to go to these things and going to Jazz Fest. It's like, you have to wade through so much crap in terms of what they have on stages to hear a decent artist that you would buy their CD. I mean, you got, I hate the blues, I hate the blues, I hate the blues.
It's the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival.
Ain't no
Remember, it
heritage
didn't used to
there.
be about seeing the Rolling Stones or the Dave Matthews Band. It was about seeing Louisiana artists.
Which most, you know my feelings about that.
So, you know, I mean, I have some fond memories from back in the day when it wasn't a big showcase for let's see how many big names we could get. The biggest name at Jazz Festival the last time I worked it with a radio station was James Brown, and he was like the big name.
And did he feel good?
He did. He felt pretty good.
He knew he would.
I shook his hand. Felt good. Our guest is Abby Hamilton. She is a, for lack of a better term, I say a restaurant consultant. She spent most of last weekend at a great place, the Francis, up in St. Francisville. This is a restaurant that every time I ever drove by it, it was bustling. I mean, just absolutely bustling. Parking lot full, people seated inside, people seated outside. Now they're reduced to having you call in, get your food, and if you wish, sit down outside. But that went okay.
Yeah.
So, looking at, because you're involved with the Epicurean Society here in Baton Rouge, I know you do events as well, and sometimes as far away as Shreveport or in New Orleans. What is the future that's going to allow restaurants to get back on their feet? What needs to happen next and soon for these restaurants to be able to serve the public and survive?
I mean, really, it comes down to our numbers need to drop. When we had the increase in numbers, when John Bell, governor, extended the stay-at-home order through the 15th, I knew that was coming because it was, a couple weeks after Easter. And I just kind of thought that at that time people were getting together a little bit more across the state. Now I feel like we might see a bump. I'm not 100% confident that we're going to be going down, but I'm hoping that we will, and that's basically the marker.
If you had to guess when the state allows the restaurants to open up their dining rooms again, will they make them do a reduced percentage of the house, and what percentage do you think that might be?
I think they may stay with the 25% inside.
So I think that's unreasonable. I think 50% is much more reasonable.
I think you're going to bankrupt a lot of restaurants.
Yeah,
I agree, but I'm just saying, I think that we, at Francis, we've already pulled some tables out and put it in our smaller banquet rooms to kind of spread the tables out. Now, I'm not sure that they're 10 feet yet, and of course, we don't have in-house dining yet, but I'm thinking 25, maybe 50.
25 seems really unreasonable
But
to
what
me. I mean, how can you make a buck?
Well, I'm going to tell you, because what happens is any restaurant that has a bar,
You're serving a lot of booze.
Yep.
What are you going to do? Because you're like this sometimes at the bar. I know at our bar for sure. So we have to be very careful. And then there's people, you still have people coming in picking up to go crawfish, to go food, regular food. So, and I'm hoping at May 15th, or right before, he decides to, let's reopen a little bit more if the numbers aren't too bad.
Here's the thing, and correct me if I'm wrong. As I understand it, if you are serving only hot food, no cold food items, the food is not a danger because the cooking will, in fact, wipe out the virus. So the real danger of going to a restaurant is the other patrons.
Correct.
Now, I am thinking of restaurants that I have gone to just recently with the way they are set up in a standard fashion at a four-top. Now, some of the longer tables might be different, but at a four-top, everybody at your table has their back turned to two of the people at the other table closest to them. Yes. I have never felt a cough or a sneeze from another table in a restaurant before all this crap.
Right.
I would not fear going and sitting at a table at Bin or at Rouge Chris or at Rouge Creole or at City Pork. I mean, I just think that they've got to work with some legitimate human science. Now, if you want to take cold items off the menu, no cold salads, I get that. No no tomato slice on your burger. God, the condiments on burgers have caused more foodborne illness. They really have.
Yeah.
But let's go with that. But I'm sorry. I think it is a false sense of security, because I have never personally witnessed any kind of overspray from a table, even when they have kids. Of course, I think you shouldn't allow kids in restaurants until they're 18.
Until they're not kids.
Ever, yeah.
No, I take your meaning. Even places like one of the last times that we dined at Rufino's, which is one of my favorites, full house, big night. I was probably seated a foot and a half from the person at the table behind me. Okay, but then again, they were behind
Their back is
me.
to you.
They were behind me, and there was nothing going on at that table that was disrupting my meal at all. And I think that, yeah, you're right. We need some practical thinking going on. We're being too scaredy cat and too panicky about this thing.
Well, what I'm talking is, let's deal in realities rather than, now if somebody comes in and they have got large scale allergic sneezing, that can go forever. But you know what? First hint of a sneeze, they're out.
Right.
And somebody in the government supply these good infrared thermometers, and nobody comes through the front door if they've got 100-degree fever. And then we really don't have to worry much beyond that. And no cold dishes. And let these people get back into business.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I also look to even the airlines who are just, pulling the middle seat out in coach class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my stepson is a radiologist. He says, if you think about it, if you're on a plane and you've got 3 people, the chance of you catching COVID-19, if you're sitting in the middle, for the people on either side, right, immediately to your left or right, not the people behind you, and not the people in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So spatially, I think that we could definitely, have the tables a little closer together. I'm not sure where they're getting their guidelines.
Well, I did some research on that. We're coming up to the top of the hour. When we come back, I'll tell you what I found in my research on airlines. And in fact, I have an airport commission meeting today that we're doing virtually because we've not been able to meet in the airport commission.
With 90 seconds to go before the break, though, how do you all feel about the whole issue of herd immunity? At some point, should we not just get out there and take a risk of getting this thing if we're not in the comorbidity groups and encourage herd immunity? The longer you shelter yourself from a virus going around, the more susceptible to the virus you're going to be.
You know what? I think that is something that we're going to get to perhaps unwittingly if they try to keep us locked down much longer.
Yeah.
Because we got people like the dog that realizes they break through the electric fence and it just shocks them for half a second.
Mm-hmm.
We got people like that. We don't see people getting hauled in for operating their hair salon or for having their church service. And a whole lot of people are going to go to the FI method very, very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
And so we might just have the herd immunity unwittingly as we come to that.
Yeah, I'm getting the antibody test today, actually.
Marvelous.
Excellent.
Thank you for being our guest. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure to have you with us. More to come. Leo Honeycutt joins us in the next hour. He's been lurking about the state legislature, and he's going to tell us about their antics or lack thereof. At least they can be colorful, I would hope, as they normally are. If they're subdued, it's not going to be any fun. Don't forget, you can watch the replay. Tell your friends tonight, 10 till midnight, and then we have them throughout the weekend as well. This is Exiles TV. We're going to be back with you in just a couple minutes, so please stick around.
Belello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Belello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
I'll tell you what, Bill. Oh, Exiles TV. Glad to be back. He's Bill, I'm Kevin, and between yesterday being Star Wars Day and today being
May the
Cinco de
Fourth be
Mayo.
with you.
I don't know how much more fun I can handle.
I'm waiting for Pass Me the Mayo.
I actually had a friend say, for those of you who enjoy your Cinco de Mayo, here's a photograph of some mayo. And he had himself a little blue plate mayonnaise. There you go.
One of the people from the river parishes that calls it mayonnaise, so you get that mayo in there.
Or some people put it Cinco de Mayo, the one day a year where Americans like Mexican people. I'm sorry, that was tasteless.
But the food's tasty.
But
so before we went to the break, we're talking about the airlines and what they're going to do with remove the middle seats and all this type of crap. And Southwest CEO Gary, what's his last name? Gary Lynch, I think. He was on national television. He'd been interviewed by Forbes, and he's like, "We're not doing that." He said, "We are not going to book our airplanes full for the next 30 or 40 days."
I just developed hiccups. How weird is that?
Well, that'll be fun. Get the mic nice and close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
God punishing you for disparaging our friends from south of the border on their special day.
Well, I wasn't. I was disparaging people who do.
Oh, okay. Well, then God's not punishing you. It's okay. But he said, we're not going to book our airplanes full for the next 30 to 60 days to see what happens. He said, but we are mist disinfecting, we're HEPA filtering, people will be wearing masks, temperatures will be taken at the gate. But he made the point where the airlines would have to jack fares so very, very high. And here's an interesting thing. I think 3 weeks ago I joked with you and said, you want to go to Chicago for lunch? We can get on American Airlines and fly to Chicago one way for $23, right?
Wow.
Check the same flight for this coming Saturday. $422 one way.
One way?
This is what happens when you start pulling the middle seat.
Somebody's got to pay for that.
Yeah, you're losing a third of your revenue.
But the argument is, I'm hearing, is that they're not filling the planes anyway.
Well, exactly.
Why can't they just, by seating, I mean, don't you have to sit where they tell you to sit, where you're ticketed to sit?
Yeah, but
they don't have to pull the seat out of the plane, just leave it unoccupied.
Well, they waived all of that. And so, for example, if there's a family of 3 that's been in the same house together on Southwest, they can use a middle seat. They can sit together. He said people can move around. We're not going to book full, so people can move to any seat they want if they feel they need more distance or get less distance, or they want to sit next to somebody. You know, and the thing is, the airline industry can't fly with a third of their seats unbookable. Now, and I think when they said, okay, well, this is what we'll do, and they put hazard tape over all of them or folded the back forward so you couldn't actually sit in it. They don't actually pull it out of the aircraft. But they certainly realize that the fares that they would have to charge to compensate for that are going to be a disincentive to fly. And again, as Gary from Southwest said, and they know how to run an airline at Southwest Airlines. He said, the only way we're going to get people back into the air is to have low competitive fares as we had before all this, and to assure them that we are disinfecting the airplanes, that we are screening at our gatehouses, and that we are using every mode of protection we can. He said, but jacking up the fares to compensate for not having a third of your seats available is going to kill those airlines. He said that he had a big conversation amongst all the airline executives right after 9/11. And if you remember, they grounded all passenger airliners for 11 days, wasn't it? And people were very afraid to fly. And he said that in talking with the big boys of the airline industry and some of the newer carriers, because JetBlue was still fairly new back then, they all agreed. They said, for right now, to get people back into airplanes, I guess we're all low-cost carriers now. And that's the thing. You can't sell a ticket that would have been, let's say, $192 2.5 months ago for $450 and think people are going to buy it.
Bill, are they smart enough? I mean, you know some of these people. Are they smart enough to understand that the psychological boundaries or barriers to people flying commercial are still there, as well as being scared of getting a virus?
Exactly.
I mean, think of the people. They don't fly because, well, some are just afraid to fly. Some don't fly because they hate the TSA and they don't like being pawed. Some are afraid to fly because they don't like being treated like cattle. And that one of the most common complaints is they treat you like you're in a cattle car, and you're being you're bossed around and mistreated. These things are still there. All these concerns are still there.
I think the airline industry is going to have to, at the very least, try to take it back to where it was on January 1st of this year. That's where they need to start. Fare structure. A lot of them were redoing their cabins and making them a little less claustrophobic. I think I told you I'd gone on a trip and they had the new seats on an American Airlines jet, or maybe it was United, but they're both doing it, where the seats are higher off the floor, and it makes you feel like you've just got so much more room, and you don't feel all, like when your butt is basically on the floor and you're all crammed
and
in.
your knees are up against your chest.
Yeah, it makes you feel, so they were doing all of that. So I think they've got to make it comfortable, and I think they've also got to be more price competitive than they have ever been.
That much is certain. Hey, it's time for us to take another quick break. Coming up later this hour, Leo Honeycutt. He's been watching the legislature, and boy, are they fun to watch. That's on the way. Exiles TV returns in a moment.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Give it your best, put the
That's right, the Clarence Buggs Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Exiles TV is back. In case you missed me right before we went to the commercial, we've got Leo Honeycutt, a journalist, author, novelist. He will be with us later this hour. He's been making it his business to watch this legislative session, which I think is going to be historic just because they've never operated under this kind of an impediment before.
Well, and I don't know what kind of mechanism. Our buddy Franz Borghardt raised an interesting question that was rattling around in my head. Can I not go and watch my tax money at work?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, normally you can go in there, and if you pass security, which they just want to make sure you're not carrying a weapon, you just got to go through a metal detector and stuff. You could go in the committee rooms, watch what's going on, take part in the discussion, get a card to speak to the committee. But what kind of regulation is there for citizens?
Well, and does that make anything that they have passed null and void? If something comes out of a committee, and I wanted to speak to the item in committee, I was interested in this bill, and I was not allowed in, my legislature now has been violating my rights to address them.
That's what the committee hearing is for, so that we, the people, can get in there and voice our support or our opposition. I'm sure they got to be taking some kind of steps to make sure that public input is.
Well, but you know, what I've seen is what they feel is the way that they can ensure it. Well, you can send in a question for the committee. And no, that's not what I consider when I consider access. I want to feel the mood of the room. I want to see who's smiling. I want to hear who else is talking as they're saying it.
I want to see who's playing solitaire while I'm up there speaking against that bill.
Yeah, I mean, and
you can tell when they're not paying attention to you. You can tell.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think that's access. I think that's one point of access if you choose it, but the ability to go there unfettered and stay as long as you want in the committee room or in the full chamber, that's pretty much guaranteed.
It's supposed to be. Here's what I would think would be reasonable. You know, sometimes when there's a bill that's, say, a bill that threatens or involves jockeys and horse racing. Well, what you'll see the day that bill is going to be in committee is you'll see every damn jockey in the state. Everybody that owns a paddock, everybody that's got a horse.
Everybody that has underwear.
Everybody that provides feed, everybody that's involved in that equation shows up, usually wearing matching T-shirts. Now, they've got to be curtailing the amount of people. So if they would say, okay, your interest group, I understand, but you can have 3 representatives come and be in the committee room. That would be reasonable, but I've seen committee rooms with 300 people in them.
But you know,
and you can't have that during this thing.
There are citizens, God help them, I don't know why, there are citizens of East Baton Rouge Parish that like to come and watch every Metro Council meeting. Like I said.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have anything at issue, they just like to come and watch.
Well, they want to see what Silky Slim and Gary Chambers are going to say this week.
Or maybe there's a certain council member they want to see is going to say. So they would not be representing anything other than their American right to go
to be there
and watch the process. And I think our legislature, and you know, people always accuse our legislature of backroom deals and you know this and that and the other. I think it's a big disservice if you don't let everybody in that wants to come in, and I don't think they have a mechanism for doing that now.
Well, perhaps Leo can shed some light on this when he shows up later this hour. I'm curious, because I covered the Capitol for 7 years and saw, its machinations. I'm curious about the press. It used to be if you had a press pass, if you had a media pass, right past security. Mm-hmm. All the security guards would be, hey, Kevin, how you doing? But I'm wondering now, do they want to take your temperature, or do they, are they stepping up security in any way, shape, or form?
Reasonable security, I don't have a problem with. The problem I have is, we're only letting 20 people into the committee room. Well, no. If 30 people will fit and 30 people want to come in, that's the process as it is embedded in our Constitution.
I see a problem with social distancing, not just in the committee rooms, but the hallways outside those committee rooms become packed. I mean, packed. I've seen the hallways outside the Senate committee rooms, wall to wall people, barely room to get through.
Well, then isn't the remedy to not be in session until we get the all clear? Isn't that the remedy?
That would be one obvious remedy, in my opinion. As I said in our last hour, it might not be a bad idea to just, everything else can wait till next year. We'll do I know next year's a fiscal only, but we'll do an open session instead. We'll waive the rules. All we're going to concern ourselves is the money bills, capital outlay, and the budget, because the state constitution says they have to have a balanced budget and they have to have it passed by June the 1st. Or it's July the 1st, July the 1st, beginning of the fiscal year. So they've got to have that done. I don't know if the state constitution makes a requirement of capital outlay. That's House Bill 2, but that's usually as important as House Bill 1, because it's where's the state going to spend what money they have to spend. Go? I think it might be safe to say that they might be able to get along without a House Bill 2 this year because they got no money to spend.
Well, certainly there is some sort of a provision to preserve everybody's rights, and that includes the elected officials as well as those who elect them, and get things done. And if that means you extend the closing date of the session beyond what is called for in the original call, because of exigent circumstances, and you don't hold any meetings where the public could wish to be involved until such time as there's an all clear, that would seem to be the remedy. Whether or not they're going to be smart enough to try to do that, I mean, I think my buddy Ted James has a point. This is not essential, what they've got in front of us right now. It can wait. More to come on Exiles Television. Back in a moment.
It can wait. Yeah, Rick Ward. Rick Ward.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Hello, Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Clarence Bug Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bug Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
It's alternate shot as we come back. I'm Bill Profita.
I'm Kevin Gallagher.
And this is?
Pretty sure. It's Exiles.
Yeah, it's alternate shot.
Exiles TV, Pelican Broadcasting, we thank you so much for watching. By the way, tell your friends, the program is on at 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can also catch a replay every weeknight from 10 until midnight. So if you're up for some late night viewing that doesn't involve a guy named Jimmy, and some Trump bashing, and you can always put it on your Cox cable. It's channel 113 or channel 1013. If you're on ATTU-verse, just check your listings. Look for KPB and Pelican Broadcasting, and download the app.
And tell your friends in Lafayette and in New Orleans and in the Florida parishes and in the South parishes. We're on Allen Cable and Cox in many of those areas. So please tell your friends. When we did the unclaimed property, we heard from people in Tucson.
That was last Thursday.
Sorrento?
That was amazing. I mean, I don't think we got as many calls on our radio show when we did Unclaimed Property as we did last Thursday here in the program. And always a lot of fun just to hear people's reaction when you tell them that they've got $546 waiting for them that they didn't know about, or when you tell them you got 28 cents.
Yeah. The one lady with 2 cents, that was pretty funny.
Literally, she got her 2 cents in. I called my sister-in-law, by the way, and told her that she had $46 waiting for an unclaimed property and walked her through getting it done. She was just, $46, but it like made her week.
Yeah, it's fun. One of the things we're going to do, I know we've talked about this in the past, when we feel fairly sure that we're going to take the cork out of the bottle, okay? When we're close to that, we're going to do a show with you, and we're going to put the phone number up constantly, and we're going to ask you what's the first thing you want to do when we have the cork out of the bottle, and it'll be fun. We'll just take your calls, and we'll devote a good portion of the show that day to asking you what's the first thing we want to do. We'll probably ask if you will keep the things you're going to do with your clothes on, because hopefully you've been doing the other while you've been in lockdown.
I've already said, I told Marianne when the restaurants are open again, Frank's Restaurant and Smokehouse, cheeseburger and fries. Mm-hmm. They make, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the best cheeseburger and fries in Baton Rouge.
They make good everything. I had said the first thing I want to do is get on an airplane.
Yeah, fly someplace.
But I was looking at prices then when we're in the middle of lockdown, they were very low. Now the airlines have all bumped up their prices by 2 or 3-fold, and I think they're going to adjust that. I think they're going to have to adjust that.
I was watching discussion on television yesterday of the new normal, and I hate the new normal. I hate that phrase. I hate the fact that people even consider that this is in some way going to permanently change the way we live our lives.
Or that it is in some way normal.
Or that there's anything normal about it. And there were people, and it was a panel discussion, and they were speculating that, it could be 6-7 months, it could be the holidays, and we're still seeing restrictions of the way we go about our lives and doing our business because this virus is still going around. And it's like, I don't want to be doing my Christmas shopping with a mask on my face. That's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know about the rest of the country. I can think of some places that might be like this, but I would be willing to place a fairly substantial bet that if you try social distancing during LSU football season, there will be pitchforks, fire torches, and what could only be called an insurrection.
Yeah, social unrest.
I don't care what is happening. There are people that say, I don't care if my grandmama died. I got good tickets this year. I'm going to the game. That will be the cure in cities like Tuscaloosa and Baton Rouge and Athens, Georgia and Tallahassee. And it'll probably be the cure in places like South Bend, Indiana, and Miami. You cannot expect people to act like there's a specter behind them that's going to push them into a grave long term. We have, in fact, exhausted the patience of about 30% of our friends, neighborhoods, colleagues, fellow citizens all around this country already. And that number is not going down day by day, it's going up.
May I talk about that a little bit, about people who have already had their patience exhausted? We saw a demonstration outside the governor's mansion of about 350 people. I think it was fairly well behaved for the most part. I heard that some preachers decided to bullhorn off the tailgate of a pickup truck and kind of turned it into that argument rather than a general argument for we all want to go back to work, we want our lives to return to normal, we want to be able to earn again. And it was kind of hijacked into the religious freedom, which factors in there, by the way, and I agree. I saw one in Michigan where people showed up at the Michigan State House and they were armed because Michigan's an open carry state. Now, I think it's great when citizens take up their right to civil disobedience and protest. But when you show up, now they didn't have live rounds. They weren't carrying loaded magazines.
You don't know that.
Well, they were checking. The security was checking and make sure that there were no live rounds, no loaded magazines. So they were merely wearing their arms, and some of them were like, semi-automatic rifles.
Kids playing cowboys and Indians?
Just to exercise their Second Amendment rights. To me, that is being senselessly provocative.
Amen, brother.
Your point is being made by the fact that you showed up to protest altogether. Why be senselessly and stupidly provocative and scare people by openly carrying weapons?
And if I may add something to your point, if you need props, you better rework your argument.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember, I want to say it was Bodie White who once said, when you show up by the hundreds at the state capitol wearing matching T-shirts, your argument is weakened already. And certainly, if you, like you said, if you got to show up, you feel like, well, it's a Second Amendment thing. No, it's not. It's not. This is a First Amendment thing. This is a First Amendment thing. I realize that there are some lawmakers, there have been some governors that said you can't buy guns. It's like, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to buy a gun. To me, in a time of social unrest or a time like this where things are not normal, you might be at a higher risk of a burglary, and you might need something to protect yourself.
Well, and certainly the longer you are and the longer people are out of work and they got children to feed, yeah. Anyway.
But these guys are very disappointing, these cats that show up for these reopen our state protests, and they're wearing, I saw a picture of one guy, he had, the combat strap that they use for a semi or an automatic where it hangs around the neck, and it's just like right down the front of you. And guys, not an AK-47, he had an AR-15. He was carrying 2 pistols on his belt. And presumably...
How many hands does this guy have?
Yeah, and presumably no magazines, no rounds, but still it's like, do you not understand that some people just get nervous when they see a gun?
Well, and that was his whole point. He wanted people to get nervous.
He wanted to, yeah.
If you have to use props, rethink your
argument sucks.
All right, you want to take the break a little bit earlier so we can get Leo on?
Is that okay, guys?
Look at Marty. Marty's not paying attention.
Marty's saying yes.
All right, we're going to take the break early. This is Exiles TV. Back with you in just a moment with Leo Honeycutt.
Bellelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bellelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down.
Taste the feeling.
That's right, the Clarence Bug Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Exiles TV returns. He's Bill, I'm Kevin, and with us our mystery
Pablo
guest.
Escobar.
Yes, I am bringing in a shipment today.
Don't hurt me.
Okay. Yes, my friend. Okay, yes, I'm going to take this off so
Leo
that you will
Honeycutt.
know, because they asked me to take it off the other day in the bank.
Did they really?
No. I don't go. Does anybody go to the bank anymore?
I go to the bank.
I haven't been in a bank branch in forever.
I got to have someplace to laugh all the way to.
I told the story the other day. I started wearing a mask in Walmart just so I don't get the crap eye from people. You know, it's not because I believe it's going to do me or anybody else any good. I just got tired of getting the stink eye from other shoppers.
I know.
So I got a mask and I put it on, and I'm standing there in line waiting to leave, and I realize that I've got my sunglasses on, and I look up on the security camera, and there I am. My face is completely obscured. I've got sunglasses and a mask covering the, I thought, under any other circumstances, the sheriff's department would have me on the floor right now.
I went somewhere, and I was wearing a baseball cap and sunglasses and the mask, and Karen looked and said, Unabomber.
Going all Ted Kaczynski.
Yes, who remembers that? Wow.
Karen does.
I know, and that's what
Leo,
I'm saying.
I've been following your reports on, and I think we're allowed to mention 30 on Third. I don't see any problem with mention 30 on Third. It's a great app with a lot of great local content.
Well, thank you.
You've been contributing greatly to the quality of that content with your keeping an eye on the legislature.
You just can't get it out of your blood. If you're once in radio, it's always going to be in radio. If you're once in journalism, you're always in journalism. And I've enjoyed going back down. In fact, Governor Edwards, has been the first governor that I've covered in press conferences since Mike Foster over 20 years ago.
Really?
So it's been interesting.
Can I tell you something? You didn't miss a thing during the jingle years.
Yeah.
Well. Sorry, Bobby.
He used to keep the door to the press secretary's outer office locked.
Yeah. Yes, and I had to tell her one time, when very early on in Jindal's administration, hey, look, this ain't the West Wing. This is not a TV show. This is reality. You're supposed to talk to us because, let me remind you, you're on the state payroll. I'm the taxpayer. You work for me.
Yeah, Melissa.
Oh, they didn't like that.
No.
Melissa Sellers was the first press secretary. She did things her own way.
That's
I thought
right.
That, Kyle Plotkin was his last. Kyle
Right.
Plotkin, much easier to work with.
Yeah.
Much easier to work
John
with.
Bell's press people have been very easy to work with.
Yes.
Yeah, Shauna is, and, she's been in the trenches, so she knows what it's like.
That's what I like is you got a press secretary who has been a journalist and
Right.
understands what we need.
And understands. I was actually thrown out of the governor's mansion one time.
Were you?
I mean, nice me was thrown out of the governor's mansion one time.
For what?
Because I don't know. Come to think about it, I'm not sure. Me and a photographer showed up. In fact, we were covering something with Alice Foster one day, and the guy just said, "Oh, you can't come in here." I said, "Wait, this is a public building, pal." And he said, "Let me show you." And so he showed us out. He was gone that day.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Was that a state trooper security guy?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
You remember my former business partner. You never met him, but he could be a character. And we had a mutual friend who was a state trooper and was assigned to executive protection. And my partner thought he'd go and have a laugh. So he goes up to the mansion and goes right to the front door and uses the knocker. And a state trooper who wasn't our buddy answered the door and said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Well, what'd you tell him? Did you tell him you're there to see Charlie?" He said, "No." He said, "I might have gotten him in trouble." So what did you tell him? I said, "Is your daddy home?" He said,
"What?"
Slammed the door in his face.
Wow.
Well.
Wow.
Leo, good choice of words, I guess. Go.
Before you arrived, we were wondering and speculating because I haven't been to the Capitol in like 4 years since I quit being a journalist. And I covered a few things while we were on Talk 107.3, but I just haven't spent that much time there. What's different now for the general public and for the press as far as access, getting in the building, and what are those committee rooms like?
I don't think you get access unless you're a lawmaker, unless you're a staffer, and unless you're in the committee or going to appear before the committee. I don't think you get in.
Journalists?
Well, no, journalists do. I mean, yeah, as long as you got a press pass.
Well, what about interest groups who may want to testify in support or in opposition?
Well, you have to go through security. You go through a magnetometer, and you got to empty out just like at an airport,
But can I?
But I don't know. I don't see. I'm not clear on what everybody who's involved in the lockdown. I was able to walk in because I have my press pass, and besides, everybody there pretty much knows me, so they know I'm, not going to be wielding a gun like they did in Michigan. which is right. I mean, when they showed up with those, I thought it was AK-47, but you said it was AR-15.
Well, the one guy I
There
saw
was a
was
good
an
mix.
AR-15. I mean, there were a lot of guns.
They were all
Well, if you
real
show
weapons
up with
then.
anything that even looks like a gun,
What's the point?
you're making yourself a target.
Right.
I mean, how dumb is that?
Yeah, especially when you can't fire back because you're not carrying any ammunition.
Well,
it's a pointless gesture.
And that was part of the story that I did that I posted this morning. But I couldn't believe, I found it just unconscionable that in the State House in Michigan that they allow guns. They allow you to carry guns into the Capitol building. Now,
Which
that's not
you
true
can't
here.
do that in Louisiana unless
No,
you're a
you
state
can't.
trooper.
Yeah.
Right. You
Now-
can't do that here.
But on a serious note, if I, as a tax-paying citizen in the state of Louisiana, have a bill that is being heard in the committee, and I want to speak on it, and they don't let me in.
Well, now, you have to sign up for it, and they will let you in.
But see, I don't want to sign up for it. I just want to exercise my right to go to an open meeting, which is what this is.
Yeah, but I think with the COVID lockdown, I'm not sure that you can just start peopling the gallery. I mean, I think you just can't start getting crowds into there because the whole point for social distancing is so you don't get too packed in there.
Right, and that's my question. What do those committee rooms look like? Are they taping off every
They
other
are.
seat? Or?
Yes, they are. They're taping off more than every other seat. I mean, you can only sit 6 feet. You have to be 6 feet apart.
That'd be
so
about 2 empty seats between you and the guy next to you.
at least.
I think they have signs and something says, please use every.
But some of those Senate rooms, that gets it down to you can maybe get 8 people in that
That's
gallery.
right. There you go.
But the point is, I understand the social distancing. I'm not speaking against that.
Right.
But I also understand a very important principle of the way we get things done in government, the sunshine laws.
Right.
We're not supposed to be able to restrict anybody's access for any reason. So if, in fact, there is a bill that I had interest to and I just wanted to show up, and they said, no, you got to do this and this and this, and I said, no, I don't want to do that, open meetings law, and it gets signed into law, can I then go to court and say, this is not a valid law because there was a restriction for open access? And wouldn't it be better to just wait, just shift the whole legislative session until we get the all clear, and they don't have to run up again, because somebody is going to press the point.
Yeah.
Somebody is going, then we're going to spend millions of dollars thinking we don't have to undo laws, and the other side's going to say it's not legal because you violated open meetings. I mean, I've seen this happen with city parish government.
Somebody will file for an injunction against the lobbying.
Hell yeah.
Well, I don't think you have that much to worry about because they don't have enough time to pass enough laws. They're going to have their hands full just trying to pass a $30 billion budget in the next 4 weeks, which is the whole reason why Clay Scheck-Schneider and Cortez decided we've got to pull everybody back in defiance of what the governor's wishes were, which is to wait until May 15th, as was the Legislative Black Caucus and several other lawmakers who said, we've already had one lawmaker die of COVID. We've had Ted James,
sick as a dog.
sick for days and days, and then you had Cortez himself was diagnosed with COVID-19. So that's when you consider that group 144 down in the legislature is not that big of a group, and you already have 3. So it's kind of 200 with the Senate,
But how do they even know what they're going to have to work with a budget? We've not gotten a penny of sales tax revenue to speak of in this state for the last 45 days, and it's looking like we're not going to have a penny more for another 15, 20 at least.
And that's the question. Revenue estimating meets on the 15th, I believe.
11th.
The 11th, which is a week from this past Monday. And I don't see how Greg Albrecht in the Legislative Fiscal Office is going to have anything like a clear picture of what
he's
the
not.
state's
He's
fiscal-
not. But you can't wait. I mean, your fiscal year ends on June 30. And if we don't have that, if we don't have a balanced budget in place by June 30, so we can keep payrolls going, literally, you will have to stop state government.
But can you not amend?
Remember what Mitch McConnell said? Let them go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Well, there's a specter for you.
Yeah. Well, and some people would say too big to fail. We can't let that happen.
Right. Well,
the state governments.
I believe we did that back in 2008, did we not?
Do we have enough in the rainy day fund to extend the current budget for a month and a half, 2 months?
They may have to, and that may be the reason for a special session.
I don't know if there's even $1 billion in the rainy day fund right now. I don't know what the figure is, but it would not surprise me if it's less than $1 billion.
How much on the open market could we get for that huge, nearly new building that houses DH?
Well, nothing.
But
Not
Leo,
right now.
What's
We could resell the naming rights to the Superdome. That might help.
What's the atmosphere like up there? What's the mood? Is there more partisan tension, or is there less?
Yeah, but you've seen this over the last 20 years. I mean, we polarized farther and farther and farther, and now that people have social media, they can vent their frustrations and they can say stupid things that really expose themselves. I mean, it's easy to see who the angry people really are. All you got to do is go to Facebook, and they expose themselves. I mean, I've had to tell a couple of friends, look, you're really in private messaging, you're embarrassing yourself. So, you need to cool off and take a general view of this whole thing, or else you're going to be marked for life.
And some of those people are even state lawmakers themselves.
Right.
Which are, venting big time.
And we've always had, I mean, there are some areas that send some people that are actual cartoon characters to our legislature.
Yeah.
And they have a tendency to speak, which makes it even worse.
Yeah.
But
let's not name any names right now, okay?
Is this bill going to be radioactive? No, ma'am, I don't think
she's term limited. She's gone.
Yeah. She's term limited here as well. But anyway, the seriousness of this, I get. But help me out. We don't have a sales tax revenue stream to speak of.
No.
The road use taxes are...
Well, now, wait a minute. Wait, we do collect internet taxes.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, we're supposed to be, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, ask the Secretary of Revenue Secretary, if she has formulated a plan to do that yet.
But I thought we were collecting from Amazon and Amazon.
Well, we had the treasurer just tell us that even though that is the case, there's no central collection agency that's making it their business to say, Amazon, would you pay us what you owe us? There's nobody saying, by our reckoning, you owe us this. This is what we'd like. It's honor system right now for websites.
The honor system?
It's honor system. It's
It is. But all right, road use.
I'm paying taxes when I buy stuff online.
Yes.
I am too. And I have a couple people I buy from, like I buy electronics from Exiles, and they will send me an email so that they have remitted this amount of sales tax to the state of Louisiana. But not everybody does that. They are small enough to where they can take the remittance seriously and send it. But Amazon, you got to ask them.
Really?
Yeah, and they want to do it all at once, and they want a central collection point. But anyway, so we're not getting road use taxes because nobody's driving as much. It's greatly diminished. Okay. We're not getting much in the way of oil and gas royalties right now since they're capping wells.
Yep.
All right. We are not getting payroll tax because people are not getting paid.
What about sales tax?
Yeah, I said that already. So I would say that is probably 60% of what would make up a budget.
Right.
So why are they all sitting there? They don't know what the hell they're working with.
I know.
Well, and also, as I said earlier, until a budget goes to a floor debate in either chamber, not all of them are necessary. I mean, you need the committee members, and then, after the budget clears committee, then you need all the members to vote.
We're gonna have to have a freaking bake sale. You realize this?
But
a telethon, the Louisiana telethon.
Floor debate on House Bill 1 can take days before they get to a vote.
That's true.
I know.
And they'll push it right up to midnight on June 1st.
They will.
Yep.
Oh,
we're probably in a world of hurt, and I agree with it, but we will survive.
Gloria Gaynor notwithstanding. We're going to take a brief break here. We'll continue to wrap up the show with Leo Honeycutt and talk a little bit more about where is the money going to come from, and do they need to be in that big pointy building right now? Stick around. More of Exiles TV to come.
For some reason, I just...
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Clarence Bug Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bug Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
Exiles TV returns. I'm Kevin Gallagher. He's Bill Profita. And wait a minute, we should do that because of the order. He's Bill Profita. I'm Kevin Gallagher. And in the middle, Leo Honeycutt, journalist, author, novelist, the man in the middle.
That masked man.
So Leo has been doing a series of reports for 30 on Third covering this year's legislative session, which I think is going to be historic just in...
And 30 newspapers.
Have we 30 newspapers? Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Well, now you got to do is find 30 people who know how to read in this state.
Bill.
We've never seen anything like this where the state's under lockdown and the legislature isn't really in a position where they can all show up and do what they need to do. We talked about committee rooms, attendance being curtailed, so that kind of impedes public input into some of these measures. And I don't know if anybody's going to create a problem over that.
I really don't think they have time to get into all that. I think the budget is going to be the main front and center. That's the reason why Snyder and Cortez wanted to pull everybody back in, even though a lot of lawmakers didn't show up yesterday. And of the people who did, Mark Ballard and I noted that half of them were not wearing masks, including the speaker.
And I saw a lot of them with their nose hanging out of their masks and the B-roll and stuff, so that's not really
But now, when they, to their defense, when they have to speak, then they don't need the mask.
Darden spoke before committee. He had a mask covering his nose and mouth. You could hear every word. It was fine.
That's right. I know.
Excuse me, Mr. Darden. I beg, don't mean to be disrespectful.
But seriously, the physics of speaking when you have a mask, it also depends on the tonality of your voice.
True.
There are some people, their voice will be just fine.
Some are mumblers anyway.
And some, it's just in there.
Right.
We got 3.5 minutes left. What is the next week going to look like in terms of what you saw and witnessed over there?
Well, I think everybody's holding their breath until the revenue estimating committee gets together. I think that when they start talking what the real numbers were, like you were talking about, and the fact that tax revenues have fallen off the cliff, I don't think you can estimate a revenue when you can't possibly know what that revenue is. So but they have to meet, and they have to do something because they've got to fashion something for whatever scenario is out there that we're going to know more about in the next 30 days. Because June 30th is the deadline. June 30th, you will have to figure out how you're going to write checks and clear them through the bank. Because if you don't have the money there, then somebody's got to go home.
Leo Allen Seabaugh has put forth a resolution that would basically undo the governor's stay-at-home orders. an
That's not
emergency
gonna
proclamation. Yeah, that's not going to get any legs.
That's
is it?
not going to. That's not. And you're wasting time doing that because
A lot of time.
Because even if you were to try to push something forward like that, you're going to jeopardize the measly 1.8 billion we're getting out of the federal government for this case. So I mean, why even bother? We waste so much time at the legislature talking
Posturing.
about stuff that I know, and it's gameplay, and it winds up being gameplay. Now, of course, the other side says, well, it's not gameplay, and we're serious about this. If we would really step back, if anybody could practice humility at the legislature, there'd be so much more that would get done so much faster. But you got more egos crammed into there than Carter's got liver pills.
Well, and the thing is, what we all need to remember about a democracy, particularly in states like Louisiana, is that you have to be 18. That's it. You don't have to have an IQ test. You don't have to have any discernible skills. You don't have to have any particular knowledge. You just have to be 18 to either vote or to serve. And
But 21 to smoke a cigarette.
yeah, 21 to smoke a cigarette.
Or drink. Is the
Or-
drinking age 21 now, or is
Yes,
it
it
18?
is.
Or,
Well, it's 21.
or to work in a strip club.
You know, I used to go into a bar and they would say, I need to see your card, your ID. Oh, you know, the older you get, the more you appreciate that. And now I go in and they go, oh, you get the senior discount.
Yeah. Yep. I know that feeling.
Well, Leo, it'll be very fascinating to see how this thing all works out, and can they get something done?
Right.
Or will they just have to come back in a special session and amend that budget?
Well, I mean, you're shooting in the dark. You're trying to look through fog here. And how can you pass anything if you're not sure what the end result's going to be?
And I don't mean to demean the task that is facing them. But, you know, if you don't have any fuel to put in the engines, the airplane's not going to get off the ground.
Oh, no,
You
it's
can-
flying. Whether it crashes or not is the other question.
Exactly. Leo Honeycutt, we're going to visit again.
Okay.
And I can't wait to see when they're going to call for more new taxes and from whom. That'll be down the road just a few weeks. In the meantime, watch us again tonight at 10 o'clock. Tell your friends, download the app, and make sure you join us on Thursday for Exiles TV. For Kevin, for Leo, for all of our folks here, thanks so much for being with us on Exiles TV. We appreciate each and every one of you.
God bless.
Thank you.